Rationally speaking, it would make sense that the more of something you have, maybe the more inclined you would be to share it with other people. But that's not what our research and what a lot of other research seems to find.
I can give you the basics of the atom in 2 minutes. You'll understand it perfectly and remember it for months.
2 minutes? You crazy, you know that?
All right, listen up, y'all.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is DrAbdullah with another episode of All Things Education Official. We're going to jump right into it. Follow me on social media handles, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and X. We're going to jump right in. You know, I've never done a dual topic episode, but after watching the great Tim Black and receiving content ideas from my good brother, Mr. Hamilton, please check him out on my channel. Did a video on AI and future of Black students in education. You will see that when he gives me all these content ideas, I cannot do them individually. It'll be just too much. So I said, I'm going to put two together and see how this works out in a segment entitled, Mr. Hamilton Wants You to Know. For those who do not know, Mr. Hamilton, outside of being one of my great friends and one of my fraternity brothers of the great Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, he is a tech guy of 38 years. He's one of my go-to intellectuals. And being straight out of Detroit, he knows exactly the pulse of the people. He knows how to bring it to them in a way that they understand. So I wanted to get right into it.
Rationally speaking, it would make sense that the more of something you have, maybe the more inclined you would be to share it with other people. But that's not what our research and what a lot of other research seems to find. We brought strangers into the lab in pairs of two. With the flip of a coin determined who was going to be a rich player and who was going to be the poor player. The rich player got 2 times as much money to play the game. They got to roll both dice instead of one, so they got to move around the board a lot quicker, and that mattered because when they moved around the board and passed go, they would collect $200, whereas the poor person, they'd collect $100. And the rich player started to behave a little differently. Rich players become more dominant. Rich players eat more pretzels. When moving their piece around the board, they become louder. They start smacking the board with their piece. And the rich players were significantly ruder.
You don't have enough money to vote.
They were far more likely to showcase and talk about how well they're doing.
Life is sweet for me.
And to belittle the plight of those poor players. You see people who are winning because of the flip of a coin start to act as if they actually deserve to win. One of the questions we ask is, why did you win the game? And you could imagine that rich players would say, well, I won the game because of that flip of the coin. I had 2 times the advantage. But none, not one, of the rich players attributed their inevitable success in this game to that force of luck that randomly got them that privileged position in the first place.
We need to not only teach our children that those that are privileged above us and have a leg up above us, we need to not only teach them that, because that's a reality. There is a group of individuals that do have more and have a starting path that precedes us, you know. So we need to say to them, yeah, there are people that have a little bit better circumstances, but it does not mean that we are not great and remarkable, and that we can not only catch up, we can surpass them. So we need to start talking about these things that will help them in a way that will make them more competitive in the marketplace, socially, and just in life in general. In a past episode of All Things Education Official, Mr. Hamilton discussed the movement to personalize educational assistance. You know, he talked about AI from a perspective from Spacey, talking about, you know, these people will be walking around with you, just learning about you, and will be able to teach you in a way that educators can't. And that is going to propel us into the greatest era of education, even though a lot of us in the field currently have fears about that. You know, we always hear about meeting children where they are and understanding them and getting down to the bare bones. And it sounds good. It's all cliche. But when you start talking about AI assistants, we're talking about somebody who actually knows you as an individual. And this WKRP in Cincinnati episode, it's an old episode, but it is relevant to what an AI assistant would actually be doing in real time in the new millennium. And they were helping to learn relevantly today by understanding their lived experiences.
if I can teach you about the atom in 2 minutes? Will you go back to school and finish out the year? How about it, huh? Come on, you're a betting man. How about it, Arnold?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, sure. You got it.
I got your word. There are 3 gangs on the street, right?
Yeah, 3 guys.
And this right here is the territory. Now, here is the neighborhood. Got that?
Yeah.
And right in the middle of this neighborhood is a gang called the New Boys.
Yeah, the New Boys. Good name.
Okay. Out here on the outside of the neighborhood, on the edge of the neighborhood, is another gang. You know, these are real negative dudes, really negative, right?
Right.
Now, they call themselves the elected ones.
All right, the elected.
You got that? Really negative. They don't like nothing, see?
Right.
Now, they all the time out here circling around the neighborhood, just circling, you know? Checking out the New Boys. Now, the New Boys see this, and they get, you know, they figure there's something wrong here, so they make a deal with another gang. A gang of very happy-go-lucky guys. They call themselves the Pros. The Pros. Now, the Pros are very positive cats. You see, they got all the good-looking women, right?
Yeah.
Right. See, now, the Pros and the elected ones, the interesting thing, they hate each other. So much so that they keep the same number of members in the gang, just in case, you dig?
Right.
So if I got 10 elected ones, how many Pros do I have?
10.
All right. Now, how many gangs do I have?
3.
Name them.
The New Boys, the elected ones, and the Pros.
All right. Who's here?
The elected ones?
All right. Now, what are they, negative?
Yeah, negative.
All right. Now, who's positive?
The Pros, and you're running out of time.
All right. Now, you see right here, the Pros and the New Boys, they call their hangout the nucleus. Yeah. Now, see, that's a real tough word. It's Latin. But I kind of think it's Swahili, and it means center.
Yeah? What is it?
It's nucleus. Say it.
Nucleus. Is that really African?
Say it.
Nucleus.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. Give you another Swahili word. It's tron. Yeah, it means dude.
Yeah, Tron, dude.
All these gangs like that name so well that they all decide to use it. For instance, the Pros right here in the middle start calling themselves the Protons. And the New Boys, well, they start calling themselves the Neutrons. And out here on the edge here, the elected ones, they start calling themselves the
The electrons, the protons, and the neutrons.
Yeah. And all this right here, this is the neighborhood. This is block after block of nothing. You understand block after block of nothing, don't you, Arnold?
Yeah, I know all about that. And your time is up, Professor DJ.
Arnold, that's the atom. That's it, man. That's it. What's this right here? Huh?
Protons and neutrons.
All right, and they call this the what?
Nucleus.
All right, what are these guys up here?
Electrons.
Are they negative or positive?
Negative.
And how do they move?
Round and round.
And if I got 2 of them, how many protons do I have?
2.
Now, protons negative or positive?
Positive.
All right, and what's all this right here?
Oh, that's the neighborhood.
Which is?
Nothing.
You got it, man. You get an A.
First of all, you got to understand that Mr. Hamilton with that video. First, Mr. Hamilton, he's a Gen Xer, and he's one of those old Gen Xers, so he's not a young spring chicken. But that WKRP episode was so dope because it showed how people can actually connect what people go through on a day-to-day basis with education. Secondly, in this clip, I hope that dude was in college because he looked old as hell, and I don't know why they be thinking back in the 80s how they could just pass off anybody as a high school student. The point of the story in reference to AI is that it will adapt to a student's life abilities and their life experiences. So everything that they understand that makes them tick can be translated into something educational and help introduce new concepts. That's what AI will do. So let me say this. AI isn't coming. I'm gonna say it again. AI is not coming. It's already here. Just because we don't utilize it to its fullest capacity does not mean it's not here. And eventually it will be used to its full capacity. As educators, parents, and those interested in the uplifting of our community, we need to be positively prepared for everything and its full implementation, and be aware that our children are going to grasp hold of it, and they can be the recipients and the individuals that will benefit from this new knowledge and this information, and they can benefit our community as well. You've been another part of an episode of All Things Education Official, but more importantly, you've been a new subscriber, and you've been a participant in a new segment called Mr. Hamilton Wants You to Know. You are dismissed.
Yeah! You are all
revolution. Too much propaganda, spiritual pollution. Too many problems, not enough solutions. So many billionaires that make no contributions. Gotta create fund and maintain our institutions. Word to the masses, our government is backwards. Only thing I've learned is what a barrel and a crab is. Deploying all these tactics to keep us all distracted. Scrolling on our gadgets and we scroll right past it. While we caught up in the fashion, they sitting back laughing. This education we're lacking, all the laws they be passing. Peep the curriculum, you see they're subtracting the necessary work. These kids mentally absent, turned out full plastic.